Hey, my name is Kovil, and this is my first devlog, I guess you could call it. I'll be giving you a little look into my project for the very first time here. I picked up Unreal Engine about 3 to 4 months ago, and I have been learning a lot. I've now been working on kind of a fantasy RTS style game. It's an idea that's a bit of like a Highland mythological sort of fantasy vibe. A lot of what I've got set up so far is just like foundational functions that I plan on scaling and expanding upon moving forward. But to be honest, I've already achieved like way more than I thought would ever be possible coming into this with literally no experience in coding or development. So I just wanted to start sharing a bit of my progress. Keep in mind, this is all just temporary placeholder assets, artwork, meshes, music, sounds, etc. for all that stuff. As I'm, learning and developing the game and the overall concept and everything. But eventually, I do plan on getting more custom assets for all this to bring in and kind of bring the whole project to life, which will be really exciting. So, if you're interested in following the project, I've linked my Discord server in the description. Feel free to join in there and kind of keep up, and let me know if you have any feedback or anything. I'm definitely open to that too. Anyways, here's a look at the main things that I've got set up in the project so far. Let me know what you think. So there's some, like I said, some placeholder music right here. So I've got, obviously there's a town center. First off, there's unit training available. There's resources up here in the top right. So we'll just start with these guys real quick. So I'll show you what they can do. They can either build, repair, or gather. So we've got a little building menu here. So there's a storehouse, a barracks, a shrine, and watchtower so far that I've got as far as what you can build. Resources require a storehouse to be able to drop off at. So right now they won't.
I cannot do that.
These guys won't be able to.
I cannot do that.
They won't be able to gather any resources until we build a storehouse. And on the building preview, you can see that it'll show you kind of the radius of the resources that you'll be able to collect. So make sure that you put it in a good spot. Where you can access the maximum amount of resources. And right now I've just kind of got resources set up in a, kind of testing positions right near the starting area, just to be able to test it out. But so we'll go ahead and build a storehouse. It's got building functionality, so the workers can go ahead and build the buildings. And while the building is being built, it has no functionality until it's done.
Complete.
And just for some perspective, for example, with the building menu here, here's a look at what it looked like kind of before. It obviously had a lot of issues, and it took quite a few fixes to get it as functional as it is now. And I could still use some improvements, but obviously it's much better than this. So now that it's done, so they can go ahead and gather.
All right.
And once again, it just kind of got placeholder sounds and music and stuff going on here. So we'll train a couple more workers. So the cool part is these workers are also universal, so this guy who is gathering food can now go, he can go get lumber instead, and he'll do different animations according to which task that they're on. So now he'll actually carry wood back to the storehouse to drop it off, and then if he were to come over here, he just does the gathering animation, and then brings back the sack of supplies. So they have good universal functionality with the villagers. And this took a while to figure out, but before I had to have a separate building and villager for each different type of task, so this is obviously much superior. So we can go ahead and build a barracks, so we can get some military units. And I'll start showing you kind of some of the combat functions. Side note, while we're doing that, I did implement also in the training queue here, you can click on the training queue and it'll delete. It'll cancel your order, and it'll also refund the resources at the same time.
Construction complete.
Another quick little feature with the buildings is once you're ready to train some units, you can set rally points, and the units that you train will automatically go to the set rally point. So we'll train, a melee unit and an archer here, and we'll check out some of the combat. Of course, we've got resources. All the resources are going on right now. I just, gave myself some starting resources, of course, so we could test things out. Well, we'll come over here and check out some of the combat. Before we get into that, actually, real quick, let me explain my concept here with this guy. This is our Elder unit, which is kind of a pseudo-hero unit, basically. So he can do special abilities. As you see, if we're selecting on the Elder unit, then it'll pop up this meteor ability. So I implemented a meteor ability so far that the Elder unit can do. And side note, there's also good like selection functionality. We've got the marquee selection that'll add units to the selection box or not dynamically. And if you hover over any of these guys, it'll show which unit you are currently highlighting, and then you can go ahead and click on that one and it'll select that unit specifically. You can also go ahead and double click on any type of class of unit and it'll select all of that unit type within a radius. So we got some convenience so far with unit selection. So we'll go ahead and get into the combat now. The hero unit will be able to do some cool things. Obviously, the melee and the archer will just do basic attacks. So the hero guy, the elder, he can heal. So we can do some healing here on our melee guy. So you can check that out. And they'll kill that guy. Once we kill, we can go ahead and aggro the next guy. I'll show you the. This is the meteor ability that the elder can do. You can go ahead and call down that meteor, attack them. It's pretty cool, and then it goes on cooldown. The enemy AI is a little bit buggy still, so I'm still working on that. So you can see he kind of de-aggroed there. But we can go ahead and test out some more cool stuff over here on these target dummies. I'm still working on the enemy AI, like I said, but. So these target dummies. So the cool part is we've got these totems that you can summon that will. So I've got this fire totem, for example. We can place this, and it'll deal AOE damage to all the targets within the range, and that'll go on cooldown. And so how we're able to use these abilities is it's spending a resource that I've set up called Ancestral Favor, which is basically generated by either your elder or worshippers worshiping at a sacred shrine. So we can go ahead and build a sacred shrine, and we can check that out. Sacred shrine here. While that's being built, we can also build a watchtower. So you can check out, it has the range that'll show you that the watchtower can shoot. The watchtower is a defensive building, obviously, that'll automatically shoot arrows at enemies. So we got that set up. Alright, so here's our shrine, so our elder can come over here and worship at the shrine.
For the ancestors.
So he's worshiping. Now we're generating this resource up here, the Ancestral Favor, which is what you can use to summon the totems or use the special abilities and things like that. Obviously, that'll all be expanded upon. And the elder is, a unit that you can only have one of at a time. It's basically like a hero unit. So if your hero dies, you can make a new one at the shrine, but we already have one, so we can train a couple worshippers. The worshippers basically they can only worship or they can only heal. They cannot attack. So we can have him come worship at the shrine. All right, so our watchtower is built, so you can see it's automatically shooting any enemies within its radius, which is great. And the worshippers, I've set a maximum of 3 right now. So basically, you can only generate so much Ancestral Favor at a time. And your elder unit, obviously, you kind of want to use in combat because they're pretty powerful, but you also have the option to use them to worship for extra Ancestral Favor as well if you want to get more totems and more abilities. So that's kind of the main stuff that I've got set up so far, and definitely plan on expanding on it and adding more cool stuff and all that. But I feel like it's gotten quite a bit done, and way more than I thought would ever be possible, to be honest, in general. And yeah, the environment too, by the way, I just kind of started playing around with some meshes and some assets to kind of start envisioning some different options for what I kind of feel like the landscape will look like and stuff like that. So this has all just been kind of blank testing grounds for a long while, and I just kind of started adding some landscaping and textures and stuff, and I feel like it's starting to come to life with a little bit of test sounds and all that too. So anyways, that's kind of the main stuff that I've got set up so far. Obviously plan on making more totems that you can summon, more abilities that the elder can do, more different types of units, yada yada yada. Expand on the resource collection aspect. Oh, side note with the storehouse too, another limitation is that you can't build multiple storehouses within each other's radius. So kind of a bit of management of your spacing of buildings and where you're placing things and stuff like that. So, if you have any feedback or ideas, and feel free to let me know. I'm happy to get any feedback, and I hope you guys enjoyed at least this quick little preview. I'll share a little more as I go on here, and yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.